Welcome to IWTV News. I'm Brian Tessmer. Joining me in the studio today, head coach Mike Jeanette. Coach, this is your 18th season here. You've spent 13 as an assistant. Now you're the head coach. Now with those 13 seasons spent under Hall of Fame coach Jim Morris, what's kept you at this program for so long?
Well, as coaches by nature, we're evaluators. When it's either recruiting or when you're watching guys in practice and how to make adjustments, how to get better. So I've been evaluating this situation for a long time, and I just felt it was the place I wanted to be. And I really, I was fortunate to work under two quality junior college coaches, Chad Wentz at Hutchinson and then Jim Morris here. But we talk a lot about quality of life, and we talk about with our young men as well as with ourselves. And this area and this college and the support that Dr. Kenny and Jeremy give to our program is something that you don't see around the country very often. And so when you find something like that from, again, an evaluator standpoint, it just felt like it was the right fit for me and our family. And I think you get a chance here to really help young people grow academically, athletically, and socially. And if you can find that place, then there's no reason to look anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, Jim Morris was very animated. And that's what we've heard a lot about. Do you consider yourself very animated when you coach, or what kind of style, what coach do you best emulate?
I think the thing you have to do is find your own pace. And Coach Morris was a very fiery game night gentleman. But, off the floor, he was a very, low-key, pretty solid, as far as those things went. He's ultra competitive. I found that, it's not that, I'm less competitive than anyone. I feel like if the work's done throughout the week, then the games should take care of themselves. And I want the games to be about the players. We make adjustments. I'm very proud of the adjustments we make at halftime. Typically, our second half is when we, really perform well against teams. But if we put in the work, and I think where you'll see more of my energy and fireness is the week away from games, where maybe the fans don't see that. Because on game nights, we feel like, okay, we've done what we can do, and now it's up to our young people to do the best that they can. And so where I'm maybe not as animated as some coaches are on game nights, I'm very much that way during the week of practice.
So what coach would you best describe your game as?
I guess the two most significant coaches in my life was my grandfather, who was a lifetime coach at Omaha Burke High School, and my father, who coached at Millard North High School for the first 17 years of its existence. And so I probably would say, where no one would understand this comparison, it still means a lot to me that I think I'm a kind of a hybrid between my grandfather and my dad. And I'd say my father, the way he prepared for games and the way his teams were prepared and his mannerisms, I'm probably similar. The underlying current of fire is probably my grandfather, and so I'm proud to represent both of them.
Well, that's awesome. I'd like to thank you again for joining us in the studio today. For Coach Mike Jeanette, I'm Brian Tessmer for IWTV News.